When I called my case manager, every time it went to voicemail. And every time I left a voice message, I never got a call back.
You should be prepared to wait up to 6 months for your claim to be reviewed.
Held up a KXAN investigation into the state's Embattled Crime Victims Fund. For more than 2 years, we've been investigating this division out of the Texas Attorney General's office and the many viewer tips you've sent us about long wait times and payments and severe backlogs.
Well, now, for the first time since we uncovered the staffing and funding issues behind those problems, the Attorney General himself laid out what he says his agency needs to keep up and what he really thinks about KXAN investigator Matt Grant's relentless reporting.
General Paxton, can you talk about what you're doing to reduce the backlog with the Crime Victims Compensation Fund?
Attorney General Ken Paxton had nothing to say to us.
General Paxton, the Crime Victims Compensation Fund.
Can you reach out to our press office?
We have.
Okay.
We've reached out for a year. We haven't heard back. We're just trying to get answers on behalf of crime victims.
The silence isn't new.
We haven't heard back, so we're here in person to try to keep getting answers on behalf of victims.
For more than a year, Paxton's office has ignored our attempts to get an update. But at a Texas Senate budget hearing Tuesday at the Capitol, the AG did respond to lawmakers.
The Office of the Attorney General is committed to performing its duties with excellence.
Lawmakers say they are looking to inject the division with around $40 million in lost federal funds.
We want to give you what you need. We want the victims to have what they need.
They asked Paxton about the attack on a DPS office last year that killed 2 people and their funerals, which led to a discussion about the agency's $6,500 cap on burial expenses for crime victims.
I was like, wow, $6,000 for a funeral doesn't pay for the funeral. It doesn't even get close to it.
It definitely needs to be updated as far as costs.
The agency is also proposing more transparency in response to our investigation, which exposed its own performance metrics were skewed by averaging victim claims, which last year were taking on average nearly 8 months to process, with rape kit exam reimbursements to hospitals, which are paid directly and within days.
So if anyone who's been sitting around Austin has seen the KXAN reporter who likes to talk about how terrible the Office of the Attorney General is for combining these two numbers, which is what we are required to report, which is why we are proposing to separate those out. Our numbers did not, I think, properly reflect the work that we were doing.
The Senate committee presentation is just the first step in the legislative session's budget process. The House must still hear the AG's proposal, then the two sides must come to a compromise on a final budget by the end of May. Their decision will have a direct impact on the amount of funding for crime victims and how that division operates for the next 2 years. We'll, of course, continue updating you on this story. At the Capitol, Matt Grant, KXAN Investigates.
And the AG is asking for a 6% salary increase to keep and attract staff and says they are targeting 90 days as a realistic number to make a first payment on victim claims. Now, this is an issue Matt has been tracking for 2 years, and our coverage even led to a new state law. You can catch up right now on our complete reporting. We have a link in this story in the investigative section of KXAN.com.